Hi there, it's Melinda with Boss Mare Shearing, coming to you live, well, and mostly uninjured from the Ligonier Highland games this past weekend. I know I normally talk about fiber or fleeces or sheep or yarn or knitting. Today we're going to talk a little bit about my other weird quirkiness is the Highland games. So if anybody has ever watched Brave or Braveheart or Outlander or any of that nonsense, the kilt thing has gotten big. Scottish ancestry is a whole subculture all on its own. So Highland games, I've been to Ligonier and I've been to one up in Grove City, PA. Oh, and in college I was first exposed to it at Dublin Ireland Festival out there. But the Highland Games consist of different weight throwing events. Traditional order is Braemar stone, open stone, heavy weight for distance, light weight for distance, weight over bar, hammer throw, and then caber. Or caber then hammer. I can't remember. Sorry. But this year we actually had the most athletes I've ever had the pleasure of competing with. And we had 34 people sign up for this year's event, which is like, even the coordinators were like, we've never had this many people, like, what do we do? So they divided us into two groups. Some places it goes by age and weight, some places it just goes by age. Ligonier is one of the places that just goes by age. So the masters, so 40 to 65 went in one group. All of the open, which means like 18 to 40, and the super seniors, which is everybody over the age of 65 that is still competing, went into a group together, and we went in reverse order. Which means we started with weight over bar. That is my favorite event. That is the one where it's all core strength. For men, I think, don't quote me. If I'm wrong, somebody please correct me down in the comments. I want to say the men's heavyweight is like 47 pounds. The women's heavyweight is 28 pounds that you swing it between your legs, up and over your head, and over a bar behind you. And it does not count if it smacks the bar. It literally has to go up and over the bar. And again, my favorite part about this is you just get absorbed, and everybody, even though we're competing against each other, will coach you and help you and be like, dude, come here. Let's work on that. Come here. What was that? And I was really blessed this year to be with the super seniors. If anybody knows who the gentleman is that I'm about to talk about, and actually knows what his name is, because I refer to him as Barney. Every time I've met him, he is in purple socks, a purple kilt, a purple shirt. He's even got a dyed purple raccoon tail on the back of him. I just refer to him as Barney. I don't really know his name. I want to say it might be Dave. I don't know. But this was my first games at this new weight. If anybody's been following along, I have lost 100 pounds. I have lost a literal entire person off of my body, thanks to finding a doctor that finally would listen to me and being diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic. And my first weight over bar, or WOB, was awful. There's no nice way to say it. It was awful. I got off kilter. I lost my balance because I start swinging off to the side to gain momentum before I go in between my legs to go up and over. And I wasn't used to not having that big counterweight in front of me to help me go up and over. And that gentleman, like, the greatest part about working with the super seniors is they literally all just bring their camp chairs to whatever event you're working on, and they just sit in their camp chairs and like silently coach everybody. He watched me throw that and he went, oh, sat up and said, come here, let's work on that, come here. He said, you need to plant your hand, let's widen your stance. And I told him, like, I've lost a ton of weight, like, I'm not used to moving my body this way, this small. And he goes, oh, we can fix that. He goes, you need to rock back when you go up. And he says, nobody take offense to this, but we always say pop the pussy. Like, use your hips. Thrust your hips out there, get that weight up and over. So I went up for my second attempt, right up and over the bar, and I could not thank him enough. So it's just a good day. Like, everybody's pretty cool, nobody gets nasty. It's a fun day, it's a long day, it's a hot day, but it's a great day. I'm gonna put a lot of my highlight clips because I was blessed to have Dwayne come with me on Saturday. This was the second time he's ever been to a games. And he literally took video clips of my every single throw except for when I struggle bust with the caber so hard, I got a standing ovation. So the caber, if anybody doesn't know what that is it's the telephone pole. We get logs and cut them up. Normally they're whole trees because the minimum height requirement for women is 10 feet. It needs to be somewhere between 10 and 15 feet. Men is between 15 and 19 feet long, and at least a 4-inch diameter. So this year we used the shorter of the newer cabers that we have at Ligonier. I think they said it was 12 foot long. And it was pretty straight the whole way up. It was a little bit more than 4 inches wide. And when you watch the highlight clips, the person before you, who is called the shagger, there's a lot of jokes while we do this. But their job is you plant your feet separated, you put the end of the caber in there, they walk the caber up to you so it's upright at a 90-degree angle, you grab a hold of it, you say, "My caber." And then you start, and you lock your hands, and you go down, and when you get to the very base of the caber, it's a pop. You cannot, like, manhandle and pick it up. You can if you really have a whole lot of forearm strength, but that's not the proper way to do it. You pick it up, and you put your hands underneath of it, you walk backwards or forwards, or whichever way you need to go, but it's balanced on your shoulder and in the basket of your hands. And you have to take 3 steps in a straight line forward before you're allowed to throw it. And the goal is to get it end over end. So if you do manage, do not bark. I am doing a video. Toad. Sorry. Also, in other news, the Housing Commission here at the trailer court, or the Affordable Housing Complex, made me cut down my rose of Shearing shrub that I let grow up so the dogs couldn't see the neighbors and the road and wouldn't bark all day if I have the door open. I like to have the door open. I like the natural light. The cats enjoy the fresh air. I don't enjoy the dogs barking all day at my neighbors. But anyway, I complied. Actually, I didn't comply. Dwayne complied. I told them if they wanted it cut, they could come and cut it themselves because I'd already paid somebody to trim it back quite a bit this spring. Anyway, so there's 2 ways to score the caber. If you end up getting it end over end, it's judged on 12 o'clock is perfect. So any variation from that straight in front of you, there's a judge on the side, there's a judge right behind you. So the goal is to have it end over end straight ahead of you. Any variation can be like 12:30, 1 o'clock, 11, 11:30. It's the judge behind you that makes that decision. In my case, if you did not end up getting it end over end, it's judged on an angle. So like 80 degrees. I've seen 90 degrees and fail. But the best score from that wins, but always the people who end over ended are going to place higher than you in that event. But I almost lost my second attempt at the caber, and I was bound and determined because last year I did not even get an attempt. I could not get that new caber underneath of me. I was not letting it happen, and the old guys, I got claps on the back because I literally used my shoulder and pried that whole caber back to where I needed it to, kept it, and still tried to toss it. I do have, you probably can't see it very well, I do have some pressure bruises, like a crush bruise right there from that. Totally worth it. I placed second in that event, so rah! But I placed second overall against a young lady named Lizzie, who is a 19-year-old beast. I know I'm never going to beat her. I made the mistake in open stone saying I was a foot ahead of her, and she promptly went and launched her next one and surpassed mine by a foot. So I tried. I might have yelled. I'm like, can't you just let me have one event? Just one. I know you're gonna win. Can I just have one event? Just one. But it's a good day. I have a ton of fun. There's always the old couple that runs the heavy athletics part always makes us brownies, and he brings us beer. So it's a good day. There's a lot of camaraderie. I really wish this wasn't the only one I got to do this year. But shearing schedule, Fiber Festival season kind of screwed me all up a little bit. I'm going to try and do three games next year. I want to do Edinburgh's game, Ligoniers, and then Harper's Ferry isn't too far, and I'd like to go to those 3. But if anybody has any interest in learning about the Highland Games or competing, I'll help. We'll all help. There's a group that meets right over in Ringgold here in southwestern Pennsylvania called the Kilted Menace, and they practice quite a bit. So it's fun. It's a good time. There's no cardio involved, which I enjoy. So, but okay. So that was my Highland Games. I'm gonna put my little highlight reels at the end. I did explain what the event is and what the weight is, and I think I'm gonna do a voiceover on it as well. But tomorrow, me and Kuya get to leave for Dallas-Fort Worth Fiber Festival. Leaving after I drop the kids off for the school bus, headed up to go meet Amy, hook up the trailer, and headed for an 18-hour drive. But I have fun stuff to go with us, and there's some stuff that I wanted to show you guys before we get there. First, I want to show you guys my nails. So I had my coworker do my nails. I'll put a better picture up. But look, they're little California red sheepies. They're little sheepies. This one's my favorite. It's the little jumping one. Boing, boing, boing. Okay, sorry. I can be a girl in very small amounts. So enjoy my outburst of girliness while we do this. So we got to talk about the heavy athletics things and me being like She-Hulk, and then, you know, I did my nails. Look. But I have tons of stuff coming with us. I did the list last night. There is 17 or 18 different breeds of fiber that are going to be in the Ross Farm booth. So if anybody's after their Shave 'em to Save 'em passport and has something that they're missing, stop by. We probably have it. We even have some weird stuff like Clune Forest and Hog Island and Wensleydale. We have a lot of rarer, I guess weird isn't the word, rarer stuff if you're looking for that. And all of our products are natural, non-superwash, non-treated. So come by, stop by, see what all we have, and check out the stuff that I'm bringing with me. So I'm bringing my Manure tea bags. I don't think I've ever actually talked about these. So these are my little Manure tea bags. It's a little muslin bag, weighs about 8 ounces. This is composted sheep manure and a little bit of goat manure. There might be some bunny poop in here too. There's also a piece of stick that I'm gonna blame one of the cats for stealing off the mums. But so what you do with this is compost tea on demand. So you can soak this in your watering can overnight, and you have natural fertilizer water to do your indoor plants, your outdoor plants, your garden, whatever, your little herb garden like I have going on. They also have in the bottom, there is a lanolin dag. So dags are those gross bits from the butt of the sheep where it's like a manure tag. We call them dags. So if you soak this in hot water in your watering can overnight, it's going to release some of that lanolin. And the lanolin will not hurt your plant, but it will choke out those annoying, stupid fungus gnats that I always seem to bring home when I bring home anything from Lowe's. So if you guys are wanting any of these, I do bring these to almost every festival I'm at. This is $10. Everything is biodegradable, including the little tag. So organic cotton muslin bag that you can soak. It's reusable several times. I think the last one I had lasted me almost 2 months. So but I'm gonna have these with me. The pepper pouch got a little dirty. I'm gonna have my pepper pouches there. I only have 3 of these left. I have 2 natural Kellers and a black one left. But my pepper pouch, after this festival, I'm gonna order some more so I have some for, well, no, I don't have to take any with me to Lambtown. I'll have more at Rhinebeck, because we canceled Shenandoah Valley. There was some issues with scheduling and advertising and stuff, so we dipped out. But I will have these at Dallas Fort Worth. I will also have these at Rhinebeck. So pepper pouches are coming with me. I did have stickers made. I don't think I've ever showed these on the videos, but I sent myself through ChatGPT and had myself cartoonified. So I have me shearing in my signature overalls and burgundy shirt. I have the big Boss Mare logo. I have a Pixar Pepper. She's not my favorite. Don't tell the others. And then that's a Clune Force. Ignore that one. But I have, oh wait, no, that's the Disney sheep. This is the Pixar sheep. So it ended up changing my lineup of sheep to like a mom, dad, and a little baby sheep that's eating a little clover. But those will be in the booth as well. I'll also have those at any shearing demo I go to. Those will be with me. And I finished the rest of my fiber floozy totes. So we've got pink ones. There's 2 pink ones, and they do say Boss Mare Shearing on the back. So fiber floozy to take your hoard with you. And I also made a nice green one. And if I can, and a blue one. And there's a second pink one. But these are limited. They'll only be at the fiber festivals. They're not for sale online yet. Mainly because I've only made 4 of them, and I'm lazy, and me and my Cricut are not friends right now. But these will be for sale at any of the festivals that I'm at if you want to purchase one. And hold please, I lost my stuff, it fell. This is the surprise that I wasn't able to show you guys last week because I hadn't gotten them yet. But I did get to meet with my friend Sabrina last Tuesday when I was up in Ohio, and she made me my own stitch markers. So I'm gonna try and get as close as I can here. It's me! It's me on a stitch marker! Can we? There we go. It's me on a stitch marker! So at a lot of the fiber festivals, they do stitch marker trades. And if you can't tell, it's already prepared for stitch marker trading. It's even got my business card on it. So if anybody does the stitch marker swaps, I'll be at Dallas Fort Worth and Lambtown and Rhinebeck. So make sure you hit me up if you want to trade a stitch marker. They'll also be for sale. What's wrong, Bubba? Nobody ever gets to see this one. This is Toad. This is my failed service dog. That's an awful dog. But he's still kind of a good dog. Yeah. But, so I'll have these with me at Dallas and Lambtown and everything. Toad, you're messing with the camera. Sit. Sit. Anyway. But, yeah, I'm gonna do highlight videos. And I've already packed for tomorrow, so I'm gonna finish working on my Hermione Everyday sock. This was a sock set I got last year at Shenandoah Valley from Rising Tide Fiber. I think it's called Eros. But if you can't tell, the burgundy and tan, or the burgundy and gold, is kind of my jam. So I wanted to have these done for Dallas. That obviously didn't happen. But I have 18 hours to try and finish them. But enjoy some clips of my Highland games, and I will see you guys next week with the highlight reel from Dallas. So if you're headed to Dallas Fort Worth, I'll see you soon, and I'll talk to the rest of you next week. See ya!
About 1781, 1780, I think it's Queen Victoria.
So this is the first attempt at the wob, and you can see like my knees aren't right, my ankles aren't right, and I was just like, what did I just do? And then after a little bit of coaching, couple swings, big swing, up and over. Beautiful. And that's something I want you guys to listen to. Did you hear that everybody, and that was mostly the athletes that were like, "Aw, nuts," that I missed.
Dude, I'm sorry. Brad is an extremely intimidating individual.
And then, see, everybody claps. It's a great time, and it's so much fun because everybody's trying. Now, this is 12 feet, and I swear to God, standing underneath of it, it looks like it's 20 foot up there. And I lost my balance again, and you can see, you know, Master, Senior, Super Master there, Barney in the purple. And he's like, wait, come here.
24 feet 7 inches. Balls up. He's got a bit of track background, throwing background.
So something I forgot to mention earlier is at each height, like for weight over bar, you get 3 tries. And 12 foot has been my nemesis since I started this. I've made 12 foot one time, and this past weekend just wasn't my weekend for it. I tried, but wasn't happening. So yeah, got a little ahead of myself in the momentum. I lost it, so I had to start over.
The Braemar stone was heavy. 2 something, 36, somewhere between 36 and 44. It's the second attempt.
What are we talking about?
That's C. Is today's best is 56 and 2, 56 4, something like that.
That was good.
She's off balance.
We're supposed to take part in the Mount Pleasant Veterans Day Parade.
Libations.
Nobody posted the time or the location.
I was only like,
Nice. His first throw.
There's also a parade we're supposed to go to Halloween.
oh, okay.
31-10.
Nobody said anything.
Last year was
And apparently we're supposed to go.
sneaking in behind him.
Nobody said anything.
Captain Taylor Toss in the background there. This is the women's open women's class. The athlete walks the heavy indicator up. Once it's down, walk away.
I know, that's why I didn't do it.
Control it. Run. And then flip it.
There we go.
Ronnie's first throw, 53.
How did they get
60.6 second throw. Sarah Taylor. Next at the hackathon.
So, I'm showing me doing these, and Braemar stone you have to throw from a standstill. So this is a 13-pound river rock, and you literally can wind up and shot put it. And that's no steppage, and the mark goes from where it's first hits the ground. And we measure it to the trig. But in the open stone, which is next, and you can see the guy is actually whipping that caber around in the back. But in the open stone, you can kind of do like a little shuffle to try and get a little bit more momentum. It's also a smaller stone. This is where I had Lizzie for 1 second, but it's not too bad. And that's her dad in the blue there that's measuring for us. It really is like just an inclusive, like, all-day event. So the open stone, obviously, you see it goes a lot further.
The stone throwing is very deep condition for stop games. The weather's been expecting at the bottom. Equipment, same for Kyle. Now you have games where you're manhood stones, strength stones, a stone, heavy stone, lifting, competition, stuff, and that's something.
Okay, now we've moved on to weights for distance. I suck at this. So this is the lightweight, it's 14 pounds. I just suitcase throw it. The other athletes, they do kind of like the hammer spins like you would see at a track and field event. I cannot make my feet cooperate to do such things. So I just, I just wing it and call it good. I'm bound and determined over the winter to try and figure out my footing for this. But, I'm just not coordinated enough, in all honesty. Heavyweight, it's a little bit easier, it's a little bit heavier. They always laugh that I point my toes when I toss it too. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching my little highlight reel there of the Highland Games. I'm gonna finish dyeing Kuya for our trip tomorrow. She's a little bit salty because she knows she has to get a bath, so I might have said that word too many times, so now she's shaking because she doesn't mind being painted, she just falls asleep, but the bath part of it apparently is the worst part ever. But I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye!